As famed dungeon master Albert Camus once said, fiction is the lie through which we cast Zone of Truth. Hey, hey, and welcome to Homebrew, the show where we avoid the crushing dullness of everyday life using our two favorite forms of escapism, alcohol and Dungeons and Dragons. Um, as you might notice, Lucy can't make it tonight, so it's just the boys. It's just
Woo!
us boys today.
Boy soup.
But
Climb on
Boys
in.
Club.
yeah, we can finally talk about our feelings.
Yeah.
Right, let's get introduced to the beers. First round is on me. I'm starting off as your benevolent DM with some Whirl Domination by Paul. So that's what I'm about to crack in. What's currently in my glass is some rollover because it's a nice little session IPA to start with. I have water, so get off my back, chat. But anyway, what are other people drinking? Paul, you were saying you mightn't drink today. That's fair. You don't have to.
Well, like I have still I have
You'll have to
refreshed.
if you did.
Like I have refreshed the potions, so like they're there to kind of drink as well.
Yeah, if you want them.
And a
Let's
nice.
make him lose all his health, so he has to drink.
Is
Yeah.
there a thick scum forming on the potions?
No, they've been refreshed. There was
Okay, good.
questionable discoloration in the flask though. So
Ooh. If this is sometime in the future when we have some like brand deals with beer companies, questionable discoloration would be a very good IPA name. So have that one for free.
Yeah.
Partner with us, buddies.
You never know what color it's going to be when you buy it. Random beer.
Hey, that's Skittlebrow or something. Then there's the yellow belly lagers is here as usual. So
Nice.
that's me.
Yeah, if you need them, you need them. If you don't, you don't. I mean, we're in a, we drink sometimes. Sometimes the little sidebar, our little side live chat, they drink for us. So if you are drinking and watching live, let us know what you are drinking, and I'll try to weave it into the show. But if you aren't, that's also cool. You could be doing something where you're not allowed to be a little bit buzzed. So, Keelan, what are you drinking?
Well, it's an old classic to start with. The dry hop lemon puka, classic. It's just getting me started. And then do I have anything? I've got a Metal Man. You might remember having used Metal Man before. This is a spicy cherry sour. And a
You
beer.
drink such weird things.
You drink
Spicy
weird things.
cherry.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I've had it
I'll
before.
take your word
Yeah,
for it.
raspberry is good.
Yeah, I bought this Dragon's Fuel. I only bought it for the name.
Wow.
Good.
The font makes it look like that gamer's fuel, but for dragons.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
That's
think
so
of the
good.
things employing this. First of all, I could just get dragons, and then I could fuel them. Or, I mean, dragon fuel seems explosive,
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, could boost my fire spells. We're going to set fire to
A dragon.
The world.
Sleeve Gem now, right? Today? that what I
No.
Good.
Don't.
Yeah. Dragon's Fuel's all ready.
Finally, Wes, what are you drinking? I see we have a lovely apricot cider in chat as well. Thank you very much. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, I
A
drink.
cider. I'd be okay. I would try this.
Oh, yeah.
I
drink is weird, but that's fine.
That has my curiosity. Spicy cherry does nothing for me. I am returning to my Beavertown favorites tonight. We are mixing neck oil, lupuloid, and I've also got Gamma Ray, which is one of my favorite beers. I absolutely love it. And then also, Keelan, I feel like you'll enjoy the fourth option, the Bloody L Blood Orange.
Oh, yeah. That's nice. I've had it.
I don't think I have, so I'm interested to try that. But I like all the Beavertown stuff. I think they're all really nice.
Yeah, the great cans as well, always.
They are. That was what initially I very much judged the book by the cover, and then it turned out the beer was also delicious, which was a nice plus. Them's my beers.
Someone was called Beaverton in the show at some point.
Yeah,
Was
I
it
mean,
guard?
yeah,
A guard in the elf place, I think.
almost
Yes.
definitely. It's come up on the show enough times. Like,
Yeah. We've had it a few times, and there's definitely been a Beaverton. I think the city guard, his name was. Yeah, I think you're dead right. So if you're not in the sidebar, if you're drinking under the table, i.e. the comments, let us know where you're drinking there. And we will try. I'm trying it out. Sidebar under the table. That's cool.
He never stops with the copy. Never stops. Always creating.
You know what? I'm gonna leave most of the announcements, I think, to the middle of the break. I don't see why there's any reason we couldn't just dive straight in. I know we've got our usual plugs, but why not do that just before the break? We got our partnerships. Stick around for them. You'll see them in the overlay, and we got our Ko-fis. But that's enough teasing. Unless there's any, does anyone have anything they want to announce? Is there anything going on in people's lives that they feel like they want to tell? The sidebar or under the table?
What about a mini bar as a contrary to sidebar?
Maybe the podcast listeners can be the mini bar.
Mini bar, there you go. Yeah.
Or like the cocktail lounge or something.
The inevitable Patreon subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're really expensive. But
they can be the VIP red row.
Yeah, behind
it's
the
the
velvet.
exact same as the rest of the bar, but you have a red row.
Yeah.
The same thing that virtually everyone else gets, but you do pay more for a slight amount of.
We're trying to create the authentic pub experience. It's the same place, it's just more expensive.
Yeah, all pubs have mini bars. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, unless there's anything else, we do have. Sorry, there is something I just thought of. We used to do community cork boards, and that sort of fell by the wayside. I want to bring it back. So I'll post this around in the various Discord channels and stuff that I crop up in every once in a while. But if you are watching and you're part of the TTRPG community and you're working on something, shoot us a message, and we will mention it at this part of the show because it's lovely to be able to, when one of us shines, all of us shine, as Moira Rose once said. Yeah, I think that's good. So without further ado, grab yourself a drink, pull up a chair as we dive into a world where anything is possible, but not always probable. Welcome back to the realm of Hibernia. And Arlington, what's the story, man?
Hello. It started cutting out for me there. I was like, oh God, it's cutting to me for the catch up and I'm frozen. Yeah, okay. I'm prepared to be caught up on the current episodes of Homebrew.
Dearest Papa Tig, oh, what a fortnight it's been. My friends and I infiltrated a mansion and stole a young man's name and perhaps his mind. It's sort of up for debate there. I befriended an adorable cube of slime, whom I named Bandit, defeated several enormous lava worms, and then had my little bugbear heart broken as Bandit deserted us. Also, we met a brewmaster. I think you'll like him. He has a wonderful beard. Oh, and I bumped into Lava Oak. Do you remember him? The hobgoblin leader from my old gang, the Dirty Bitch Boys? Anyway, he and the DBB wanted to turn us over to the guards, but my friends and I gave them a good thrashing. It seemed to awaken something within me, because I seem to have an ancient High King of Hibernia rattling around in my head. It's getting very crowded in here. Anyway, we made a beeline straight for your apartment afterwards to regroup, having thrashed the DBB, as I said, left them alive, But now we need to figure out what all this road business means. We've had a look at some maps and there's some overlapping features, but we're all very confused. I believe we've been talking to you about a vacant lot in a city for my friend Randir to build a brewery in, but I suppose that's after I've written this letter, so it doesn't really make sense for me to know it now. Anyway, I hope you're well, Papa Tig. Here's the letter.
And then I hand the letter to Tig. Again, it's just gibberish.
Well, Arlington, you can just use your words. You don't have to be writing me letters.
But no one writes letters anymore. It's comforting.
And at least you know what he's saying when he writes it down. So you don't really have to read it.
Of course he does. How can you not read?
Oh, I can read.
Oh, that's
I can't.
good.
I maybe I can't read Bugbear, but it's all right.
I think what
you
your
say
friend's
everything you're
saying there,
trying.
Arlington, is you do speak out loud as you're kind of dictating yourself.
I was speaking out loud. Oh my goodness, that's very embarrassing. Oh.
My boy, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like, don't be worrying about speaking out loud. We all learn somewhere. Like, before I met you didn't know how to write at all. And
true, I didn't. He taught me everything.
Your A's. Your A's are impeccable.
Thank you.
That's an A.
Well, I had to write a lot of them with my name.
I thought that was a star.
Hook.
I like to think of myself as a star, yes.
Bugbear baby steps, Hook. Like, Jesus Christ, lay off the boy.
I just confused. I wasn't.
We can't all have princely education.
The Fey princes are renowned for their
Is this where we find out that Huck is classist? Sort of elitist.
I'm not.
Ew, it's not in cursive. Gross.
What finishing school did you go to, Arlington? Because it certainly wasn't a Fey one.
The leaving cert? No, I did the international baccalaureate. Please. You find yourselves all in Tig's rented apartment in the midtown of Sleeve Gem. He has, at the end of the last episode, he popped the kettle on, he's made some tea, and you all settle into these sort of nooks and crannies of his home. He has added a little bit of personal decor, so he's sort of dressed it through magic to make it feel like, when you're sitting out under a large oak tree on a warm spring day. That's sort of the vibe you get here. There's sort of nice shadows passing through the windows. The lights are low. The furniture is sort of being transformed into gnarled trunks of wood, and there's a sort of prestidigitated, musky forest smell about. Let's say it's late afternoon. It's coming on early evening, and Tig is about to prepare some hearty stew. What is it you'd like to do with your evening?
Did we take any? We just kind of committed the map stuff to memory. We didn't make any copies, did we?
Not yet, although Iggy's slate has sort of screenshotted it, for lack of a fantasy word.
Is Iggy with us? Has she disappeared?
No, Iggy's in the room. She's sitting there.
Do you want to go over?
Vacant expression.
Drooling with her blacked out eyes.
Ignatius, can we bring out have a look at those tracings, those etchings you took of the map? They might be something to run past Papa Tig.
Yes. I mean, do you wanna be Iggy? I can be Iggy.
No.
That's changing the territory of Keelan doing an impression of Lucy rather than talking of Iggy.
It's an age-old impression of Lucy as well.
I was going to say it's been highly honed.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Let me get it. Just from here, and she kind of rustles some papers and goes, "Oh, what am I thinking about? It's on my slate." And she holds the slate up, and you see Iggy sort of move her hands around and whisper some arcane words, and the map itself sort of projects itself off the slate that she draws on in a cool 3D futuristic sort of style. But you don't know what the future is because you live in the present.
So we're not impressed.
Yeah,
I like to lean over to Huck.
Has she always been able to do that? It would have been very useful.
She's surprisingly competent seeming today.
It's a bit out of character.
Shouldn't have drunk.
You seem very mean to your friends, from Randir's perspective of just going, "Oh, she seems kind of on the ball today."
I mean, the group we met just before this, they were my old friends. This is actually quite a wholesome group if I compare it.
I just have to be honest, that's the problem.
She's also,
being more competent today.
She can also be quite scathing herself when she needs to be. It's quite endearing.
Honestly, Randir, I don't mind at all. And if I ever bring it up in the future that I do mind, I was lying then. I'm perfectly fine with this now.
Okay.
We should sign a contract to that effect.
Randir's already writing.
Wait, does Randir just love contract full stop?
I think, as I said, Randir is being made into the Ferengi of the group. So just if it's contracts, money, building building any kind of brewing or anything like that, he's definitely up for it. So
he loves industry.
Yeah.
If it's contracts, you'll like the Fae or absolutely hate them. Hard to say, but there's certainly contracts involved.
Yeah, because I think he's already tried to break one or circumvent one already in that kind of with the whole I'm not actually a friend of yours, so I can definitely just heal you because I'm not part of this deal. I'm just an acquaintance.
It's all part of our plan to so we can save the day and just say, "Oh, we weren't friends." Wink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's never be friends at Randir. So that we can...
so it could always break.
It's for your own good.
I have to say that out of character because there's no way Huck's letting that happen.
Yeah, it's like Twilight, I think.
It's like one of those things where it's just even when you get the inkling of us all becoming friends, you're just You have to say something horrible
Gotta
that,
push him
that
away.
breaks my heart.
No, we've signed a contract never to be friends.
Cool. So what do we see on this projection?
So you see a map of Hibernia, and on this map there are essentially these swirling roads. Oh, thank you, Paul. So chat should also be able to see this now. And if you're listening on the podcast, it should be on our socials. Maybe it's in our Discord. Like, maybe go to YouTube for this one moment. I don't know. We never remember to do things we say drunk.
Maybe it's time to finally subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah. So you see a map of Hibernia, and there's these. The roads aren't straight. Quickest way from A to B, straight line. As the crow flies, maybe this is how the crow flies, because it's following the curvature of the earth. So people think they fly straight. No, not those crows. But there's these swirling roads all through Hibernia, and each of them seem to have what is sort of a trinity knot, I think is the correct term. That sort of three-way spiral at certain points. You see essentially what's on the screen here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the symbol of the Charmed Sisters. The power of three is across this map in multiple different places, but one spot in particular seems to have a bit more reinforcement, for lack of a better word, around it, and that seems to be in the sort of middle boglands of West Hibernia, just below Widow's Ravine and just north of Inish Bay, where you started your adventure. Left to west of the Baha Glen, and right to where you kind of are now, sort of southeast where you are now, in this hilly, marshy, boggy section that you don't know a lot about, because historically there hasn't been roads here in your time, and historically you haven't traveled a lot because of the Black Hound, the fierce beast that hunts down anyone who leaves their house for more than 3 days and 3 nights.
I'm pretty sure we've all individually kicked that thing's ass at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
For good, and definitely the definitive version, and I'm officially no longer afraid of it, or may lightning strike me dead.
I think Baggy and Stabby definitely made that a dangerous thing for Randir now. He's just like, we'll have a magical sword and actually the Baggy became a nightmare fuel monster thing, so never mind. Actually,
Baggy was terrifying.
Yeah,
as a viewer for that one, Baggy was nightmare fuel.
Yep.
So many arms.
I think Gabby handled himself well.
Yeah, Baggy.
Bitsy Bon Bones and Stabby Gabby.
Yeah.
Bitsy Bon Bones.
That's it. Yeah. Okay, so it's been a while. Didn't we figure out that it was the roads in the Feywild overlapped with the roads in the material plane? And that's basically what we're going with.
That's our theory, yeah.
Okay, so what? Because I didn't take a screenshot of the map, and I should have.
My boy, just before you begin, I don't mean to be rude. A quick word, actually, just between.
Yeah, sorry, I had a frog in my throat. That's why I sounded like a pasty beardy Irishman.
Do you want to, maybe have a rest before we get into discussion, or what? Well, you were telling me that your friend Iggy, she is Rua's daughter, and is it wise necessarily to have someone in the room that Rua could use to scry through and potentially hear everything and see everything you're about to say about thwarting her?
Didn't realize she could do that, to be honest with you.
Well, blood is a very powerful magical component. So, like, if she had her blood,
you reckon she has? You think she has some of her blood?
Well, at the very least, she is of her blood. So it'd be easier to see it.
Yeah, no, that
Iggy,
makes sense.
Do you ever feel like someone's watching you constantly? Oh yes, I speak to puddles. So this is kind of what I'm talking about.
Didn't really expect this to go that way so quickly. Ignatius, I really wish you'd mentioned something before. You talked to puddles. Have we talked about this before?
I'm pretty sure I was bringing up quite a lot.
Who's Puddles?
Have you not been? Like, I say this on the pirate ship, and then I also said I could talk to my mom through a puddle, and then
I've
that I could
literally
talk to my
never
mom
heard those
anyone.
words in my life. No, I think you're making that up. No, so I won't be gaslit, Ignatius.
That's because you didn't listen, Arrington.
Can I just ask, though, when you were just like, have you ever felt like someone's watching? Did you leave the room, or is it just me, Iggy, and Huck just staring at you while you talk in the corner? Because it'd be that.
No. We just literally went to Tyke and Arlington just went to the corner The kitchen islet, if you will, in this single pair apartment building, literally just the other side of the room.
Rander's just staring at you.
Ignatius, how likely do you think it is that Rue is scrying through you right now? Do you think she can hear us?
I will roll for Iggy.
Ooh, fun.
Oh no, I don't think she can hear us at all. My boy, she could definitely hear you through Arlington. Like, she could Arlington, please. Like, honestly, lad, like, she could definitely. That woman, just come on.
I was about to say I'd like to roll insight, but it doesn't sound like she knows if she's telling the truth or not.
We could put a cloth over her head.
Well, Ignatius, would you mind terribly if you had a prowl around town just while we organize some plans? I mean, I know we're very much not leaving you behind. We don't want to exclude you, but perhaps the less you know about the actual plan, the better. The more ignorance you can claim.
Well, come now that you say it. Actually, I probably shouldn't know about the plan because of the whole thing that I made the deal with. So if I did know the plan, it would probably hurt quite a lot. Actually, similar to how much pain Huck was in when we went to Drake. I have an idea. How about I go into the next room and I'll read my book?
Wonderful. Another reader. It's so good to meet another linguist.
I could banish you.
That seems a bit extreme.
That would only give you a minute, and I don't know how complex the plans to, defeat my mother and save the world would be, but you probably couldn't solve it in 60 seconds.
He's just showing off. Don't mind him, Ignatius.
I'll banish you.
It's like, do I just disappear as soon as I say that?
You're gonna banish me. You're gonna banish me.
I made my family disappear.
Oh no, I missed them.
I have to learn an entire life lesson in 1 minute. Go.
Arlington. Iggy goes into the bedroom, and you see her bring in that little book that she got.
Does she leave the door open a crack so she can kind of see?
Are you guys watching adult movies? And I'm just a small child. By adult movies, I mean like 15s plus, not 4.
Movies about adults, not for us.
Yeah, it's movies that only adults should watch.
The clarity there.
No, she closed the door. I've chatted with Lucy because I didn't want her to go into a room and open up the book that Rua gave her as part of this deal without her express consent that she would want to do this. And in hindsight, when she was like, I don't think I can make Tuesday stream, I'm like, oh, bully for me, because Rua would have heard everything. But I guess I'll put you in another room. So yeah, Iggy goes into the other room, and Ty goes, well, actually, just to be sure, I'm going to just cast and he casts sort of a silence spell on that room, so no sound can enter or leave.
Oh, does that work? Is that the way silence works? Can you not hear anything in there as well?
It's silent.
Oh, cool. I thought it was only sound couldn't come out. We should use that more.
Well, if sound can't come out, you can't hear it.
I thought it was like being in a... Yeah, I suppose. I'm thinking like that two-way glass or whatever. Anyway, not the point. Cool.
But my boy, I don't mean to be harping on this, but do you want to plan now, or do you want to have maybe rest up for the night? And you look pretty beat up, to be honest, after the fight. I know you won, and I should see the other guy, but
honestly, I think I could catch my breath over even a short rest. I mean, it's sort of, Papa, I've gotten very good at catching my breath over a short rest. It's sort of one of my strengths, and we only ever really stop to breathe for the night. So I'm all right. My friends, how are you feeling? Any severe wounds? I was very focused on my own battle, so I'm afraid I can't say how well things went for you.
It went fine. Sure was barely a scratch.
Randir, how do you fare?
I need to sleep. Badly.
I will. No one cares about that.
Is it like now that we're looking at you, like his arm is like falling off?
He's pretty beat up. Like.
Okay. Is that maybe what Tig was alluding to this whole time? Like, your friend is bleeding on my carpet. Please sit down.
My boy, I kind of mean your new friend. It's not very polite, He's had a rough day.
Yeah, the first time that I meet you guys, I get attacked by horrible, bandits and an archfey. So
Well, I'll say one thing, Randir, between you and me. It doesn't look like you're going to be getting your brewery anytime soon until the world gets saved. So I guess you're stuck with the Huck's Punks.
I do think
And
that.
not tied.
Yeah, yeah. I do think that the priorities right now would be to make sure that I could continue to be, brewing and stuff like that. So I guess I am tied to this group now.
Oh, you've got a goal. That's wonderful. Wonderful news.
I guess we could have a new member in the old Huck's Punks.
What time of day is it, Benjamin?
It is kind of late afternoon, early evening, but in a matter of hours it will be night because there's only 20 hours in the day in this fucked up world.
You'd have to tell me if it's close to nighttime rather than like me doing the maths on when it would happen. I'm basically wondering, like, because I forgot that we recovered a good bit when we leveled up, so my health isn't that bad, my resource and stuff is fine. So I was like, shit, is it like near bedtime? Can we not?
Like it's dinner time, and then pretty much it's dinner time, and then bedtime rolls around pretty quickly. You live your life like you did when you were 7 years old. That's how fast the day goes by.
I mean, it would be a bit of a slap in the face to Ignatius to send her out of the room because we were going to do some planning and then to go to sleep.
That's very true.
Let's take a rest.
Tell you what, how about we put a rough plan together, bring Ignatius back in, have a slumber party, if that's all right with you, Papa Tyke. If we could stay the night, and then
Slumber party.
And then slumber party, and then we could maybe figure out from there. If we could get a lock down a plan this evening, that would be just aces. But
I think that's perfectly fine. Like honestly, lads, it just seems like it's a good thing to go into this. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail, as they'd say. And come half time at this match, you should be knowing what the opposition is doing. And so, like Arlington, I don't mean to embarrass you in front of your friends, but like, what is the plan?
I'm not really much of a plan maker.
Randy's very much interested in this topic because he's just like.
I think Arlington's like posturing, like trying to look like kind of leaning against the couch, trying to look like nonchalant, like he knows what's going on.
It's like, I just think if we sort of stop ruin, that should be the our North Star that we're driving towards. And as long as our core values sort of line up with that, then going forward, that sort of that deliverable. That's.
I realize what you're doing. The old manager over their head kind of thing, like out of their depth.
I have no clue what you're talking about. I haven't the foggiest, but no.
Well, if
Rander, do you have a plan?
Well,
like, do you have a plan?
If we have some knowledge that we need to kind of, I don't know, figure out, especially if it's to do with some artificial kind of like stuff. Goat is in town.
Goat's in town. I forgot. Did we discuss that? Wonderful. I love Goat.
Like, he is a master artificer, so he might be able to help us with some kind of, information with the roads.
I mean, we could just ask him how he would meld two worlds, and he'll probably come up with a button that'll do it. From everything that I've seen and remember of Goat, or I mean, just ask him for an invention that puts two worlds back away from each other. That'd be grand.
Let Rua's plan happen and then just undo it afterwards. Yes, that would be.
Yeah, we could be done by dinner.
Which is in 2 hours.
That would be very handy.
Dinner in Sleeve Gem, as they say.
Yes, well, I mean, well then it begs the question: do we go to visit Goat now, while Ignatius is reading, or do we wait until the morning? I mean, we'll have to have at least a little catching our breath before someone dies. But
I will. Goat could have a breath catcher.
I mean, you're inventing a lot of things on his behalf, so I feel like I'm afraid that won't really happen.
Look, he's a weird guy, and take it from me, I know weird guys.
I fail to see how that furthers the plot.
This is all right. Like,
Randy, we're very glad you've joined the team. We just need some forward momentum, really, just a push.
This Goat lad. Do you want me to send him a message? Like, just tell him to come here.
Oh, of course, I forgot you can do that. Yes, that would be wonderful. Yes, it would be lovely to see him if we could bring him here.
It's as if Slave Jam has some kind of, I don't know, message sending system that it's famous for. Like
that one's on the
Oh, I did
It's not
see
a
actually
Christmas
the news on today around town was that the message system got derailed or something up near the upper quarters.
God, that's terrible. That's terrible. Do they know how? Do they know how? Do they know who?
A group of bandits. It must have been them dirty bitch boys, Ireland.
It was probably. I was going to say it's the dirty bitch boys. They're known for that. God, that's terrible. Who would do that?
Dreadful stuff altogether. Well, I guess I was going to do magical means otherwise. I should probably check if I can. Do I need to know the person?
Yeah.
Have I ever got in touch with someone I don't know?
That was what I was going to ask. You might be much better at message than I am.
Let me. Ty whips out his spell book. You recognize this, Arlington, but the others wouldn't know. He takes it out from his cloak. It's just an old, sort of leather-bound, like tattered looking thing, where like some spells are written on leaves, some spells are just sort of like half shoved in on a napkin. Some spells are like it's a madcap of spells.
I nudge Randir in the side.
It's a spell book.
I have decided to start edging like slowly closer and closer. See if I can get a peek inside the book.
Yeah, you see inside, and you see like it's not organized by spell power. It seems to be organized by chronologically when Tyke has either come across the magical means to do something and just
That's such an awful way of organization. I hate Tyke. I've organized this by what structure I liked at the time 3 years ago.
Arlington, would you please? I mean, you know how I do this. It's just I think back. Well, when I was there, what was I doing that day? I was having a cup of tea, and then I thought, you know what, it'd actually be handy to be able to heat up this cup of tea. So that was the day.
Oh no, absolutely. I know it makes perfect sense. I never questioned it. I don't know. You didn't hear the PhD beardy voice again. That wasn't me.
I'm guessing you're a wizard, because that's only wizards are like this.
What was that word you said?
Wizard?
Wizard. What's a wizard?
We've never heard of
I'm a wizard.
He's a wizard, yes.
I'm a wizard.
Randir's questioning his choices of alignment now. It's like, because you know that like people of magic have different. Never mind.
By the way, are you questioning my prowess in the world of Arcana?
You should never question a great and powerful wizard. They're very wise. That's where it comes from. What's whiz? Who's whiz? That just means you're peeing. That's a master of pee.
Wizards are all flash.
I believe
no substance.
I believe
All
like
splash, no substance.
I believe Randir's head has just started to like slowly rot.
There's a visible vein on the side.
Aye. Now that's the look of someone who's joined Huck's Punks.
He's got his own uniform. Rage.
You're playing with us, Randir. You're playing with us. Randir, you don't need to make a perception check. You look in and you see there's all sorts of spells in here. You see seemingly there's a spell in which to speak and understand any language. He has one spell just called Disco Mystic. You don't really know what that does, but it seems to kind of charm and daze people. There's one where there's just a smashed, like, there's a smushed spider on a leaf, and then under the spider, he's just drawn little boots. You don't know what that is. But
if you watch episode 0, you might find out.
And then there's a small picture of John Travolta as sort of a greaser in there. He knows that one too.
This is very, very important. Is John Travolta a known bard in this realm, or is like the tale of Pulp Fiction like an adventure?
Oh no, this is a love story between one Danny Zuko, is that his name? And Sandy.
I've realized now we have very different taste in John Travolta films, and I should have assumed. That's on me.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't get Grease straight away.
When you said like two people, I was like, yeah, Uma Thurman, gotcha. I was like, oh no, it's the other one with the flying car, gotcha.
He casts Pulp Fiction. No, you see that, and just beside this visage of John Travolta, who you don't recognize, of course. How many times does this man? It just says, "Is the word," but seemingly goes, "Well, this is very embarrassing. It turns out I can't do that." Well, egg on my face, I suppose. I don't know the spell in which I could contact someone. So I guess you would have to go find Goat. Sorry for waylaying your
Well,
plans.
that's all right. Listen, how about I'm actually feeling quite spry. I might need to do a bit of stretch, cool down, or something like that afterwards. But how you guys could set up base, and I could just run off and grab Goat real quick, bring him back here, and then we can take it from there. Does that sound amicable? Randy, I'm afraid you might combust if we send you outside. You really are bleeding quite a lot.
I can prestidigitate the blood away.
I feel like it's going to keep coming, to be honest with you. There's a sort of a gaping hole where it seems to be coming from. I thought it was his barrel, but it looks like it's spleen.
I'm going to prestidigitate all the blood away.
Oh, good. I'm better.
There is Randy, sorry, I should point out that you do see multiple pages. They're like almost written in every couple of chapters as if he's forgotten he can do this. Something just says cure wounds.
Yeah, just you are a wizard. You could probably help me here, right? Yeah.
Oh, Jesus! Fuck! Of course I can, Render. Oh, of course I can. Come here. And he grabs his staff and just kind of like knocks you on the head with this. Casting, let's say, cast cure wounds at 4th level. Why not?
It's a shame he bothered casting that after I already prestidigitated all the blood away. Because
I think
as he was trying to use this, I had already healed you.
As he goes to bonk Randy, I think Arlington moves a little bit and like to stop him because he thinks for a second he's about to, like, he's seen horses that had injuries like this, and Tig maybe bonked them a little bit as well. He's like, no, and he's like, and then he realizes what's going on and he stops himself.
26 hit HP. You're cured with one rattled Papa Bonk of the staff of healing.
Pretty nice.
Papa Bonk. That goes in the bank of beer name ideas.
Goes in the bonk.
Goes in the bonk.
So Arlington, do you want to run off and just grab Goat? Is that
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that makes the most sense.
Anyone else? Because we can kind of zip through time with this.
I think we
if you
can
want.
just
If anyone else want to
I'm
go,
not looking to do anything else.
I have a question. Because if we are, if we're going to do a long rest, or we're just going to zip through time, at the end of every day, is it all right as a DM to ask Huck to essentially cast spells of different levels at me?
Just to use up his spell slots?
Just so
and for you to absorb them?
Just so I could absorb them?
So it's like, like, I bought this bulletproof vest. Shoot me!
Yeah.
So let's do like that's less my choice. The only thing I will point out from a DM point of view is Huck and Randir. This is for the staff of absorption, which at max can only take in 50. It's not like if you use them, the max goes down. So like once you hit 50, you can no longer absorb any other.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
you're on, I think, 6, or maybe did you absorb anything last? Let's say you're on 6. I can't remember if you absorbed anything.
I didn't absorb or use them, so I have 6. So
Yes. So you're 44 more spell slots. So as Arlington, just roll me like 2 survival checks. Let's say Randy told you where to go.
So
you did just like Moses like out the door.
So just to say that it's not that I have like 44 spell slots. It's that if I use I would have if I used level 1 spells, but it's like if I use a level 4 spell, it'll burn 4 of the power out of the.
I'm less concerned about that, and I'm more concerned about the max ever being reached. So like I don't really care. Really, I trust you to do the actual up and down. It's just more that like it's harder to track when you do go up and down, You know.
Yeah. No, I have a little note thing here with it. So.
I mean, Huck's all for it, but there's going to be a lot of wild magic rolls.
That's also. I also thought that
you run the risk of wild magic occurring on a daily basis, which we already did.
I also don't think, because I also don't think Randir knows that you are a wild magic sorcerer. So probably after the first night, he might be just like, we're never doing that again.
Actually, there was a flashback I was interested in doing. I think I mentioned to you before.
Correct. Yes, you messaged me outside of the stream. So let's role play Randir and Huck and the awkward conversation of can you spell me? Then we'll jump to Arlington. Then we'll do the flashback, and then we'll see.
I have my rolls for Survivor ready. Will I just hang on to them, or do you want to do them live?
Yeah, hang on to them, and we'll jump into you. So, Arlington, you sprint out the door in the direction of Goat, the artificer. Leaving behind a dust cloud of a high elven king.
Actually, sorry, just real. I know we're going like back 3 steps, but just before I go, Arlington stops as if he's just like heard someone calling his name, and he goes like, "Are you can't be serious? You did." All right. And he takes his backpack off and starts unloading a load of rocks that are in his bag. And he looks up to everyone and is like,
It turns out Grod has been leaving rocks in my bag, so I feel weak. He's deigned to tell me about it now.
I start like bouncing up and down.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I feel like I could probably move a little bit faster and I'm a little bit stronger. Thank you, Grod. All right. Very funny. Ha ha. I'll be back in a little bit.
And then they zip off.
Tyke, as he does it, goes, don't be telling them when we get back, but I actually gave Kurt that idea back when he was hanging out with me.
It's a great idea. I'm going to start doing it as well.
Whenever you can, just put rocks in. He's such a nerd when he's like that.
Actually, yeah, Tyke's been making like sports analogies and stuff. He's pretty like disappointed with his nerd son.
Yeah, Tyke's are Gadab from somewhere in the country. Could have played for the All Hibernia.
The All Greens.
You sprint out, and we'll catch up with that later, leaving a sort of awkward silence as it's Tig and Randir and Huck. Well, I'm going to get started on dinner, I suppose, unless you need me for anything. But if not, then
I don't think Philip using.
You're right, lads. You're right, lads. And he doesn't leave the room because it's a small one room apartment, but he's just over by a big pot making dinner.
Yeah, so I guess you could just shoot a fireball at me and I'll use my rod of absorption to power it up. It'll be really handy for next battle.
Okay. I have no problem firing magic at you. Whatever about your rod of absorption, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you think it'll be okay in this apartment?
It should be fine.
Okay.
So you just need to tell me the level of spell that you're shooting at me.
How about I roll for it?
Oh, that is also...
Yeah.
I also feel like this could...
I should... let me whip up Huck's wild magic table because we might need it.
If it's like a level 1 or a level 2 spell, I won't. But other than that, I'm going to roll it. I only have up to 5th level, so I'm going to roll a d6, subtract 1 from everything. If I get a 1, I'll have to roll a cantrip, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
As Huck slowly walking towards Randir casting spells, I was like, come on, I want you to hit me. I want you to hit me. Come on.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just
I got a 1, so first go, we're just testing it with a firebolt.
Cool.
It's just an easy 2d10.
Yeah. So what is your roll for an attack, Huck?
Roll for an attack, okay.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Randir, pull up the Staff of Absorption page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got a 20 on the dice.
Natural.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Kill,
all right.
Kill, pop.
Yeah. Randir, is there anything on that that says it has to absorb spells of a level? So
yes,
it can't absorb
this is the whole thing is I was going to tell you not to use cantrips because you actually hurt me. Because
you didn't say anything.
So what did you hit me with?
Well, I mean it was a d20 to hit, so that's just I guess fine. 2d10.
So like it's one of these things where Randir is like holding up the rod of absorption, just going absorb, and then it's just fire. Just hits him.
Oh, that's 7. And 7 again. 14 damage.
Cool.
What's your HP, Randir?
It is 49 right now.
Oh, you're not too bad. Oh, of course, because
that's fine. That's more health than I have.
Yeah, like it's
So Huck, you pull you kind of generate a little fireball and like because you're excited about absorbing it, you're like, I'm gonna give him all the power this cantrip can handle. And Sylvester the cat or Looney Tunes style, you just see a sort of exploded Randir beside the staff, and like his eyes go ding 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 ding.
I mean that. You asked for it.
Lads, if you're doing horseplay in the house, like at least like control. Just calm down, lads.
If we could not do cantrips, my friend.
You should have said. I was just starting you off with something easy.
I will. That is definitely on my. I will accept the responsibility of my current horrible pain that I've just gotten from you.
Randir, consider yourself baptized in the Huckspunks because no one's a Huckspunks without being hit by fire from Huck.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Do I get my my flowing cape now? My billowing cape?
No, your cape's on fire.
It was in the corner, and So
I can prestidigitate the fire away.
How many? So it's just for the case of brevity, so we can jump through. Keelan, as a player, how many spell slots are you sort of loading into Randy right now?
Oh yeah.
Because you do like.
Yeah, I mean we haven't rested, so I've actually used a bunch. So I can't use any 5th level.
Because I was thinking that we would do. Are we going to do a long rest after this, so because then you get your spell slots back?
Yeah. So I don't know. I can put like
Just
3 4th levels and 2 3rd levels in. I would say if I'm doing that, that's a total of 5 wild magic rolls that I'll have to do.
are we?
So 12, 3 4th levels, so that'll be 12, and then 2 3rd levels.
So
You said
18 to 24 altogether will be in the pack.
Yeah.
To be honest, they can just all be fireball if you want.
Probably something else.
Something else? It could give you haste.
It actually can't
I
be.
know,
fireball.
it actually-
That's a
Oh, can't.
target.
Yeah, that's a target.
Oh, it has to be a target thing.
I was hoping you
Scorching
would
Ray.
cast fireball, but I'm going to warn you. If you
please
did,
do.
like,
Fireball was my next choice.
Because I was
That'd be so good, like just like looming over him, like absorb this.
I was going to cast fireball at 5th level, so it was do as much damage as possible as well.
Yeah,
but I ran out of
it
5th level slots.
Exploded the entire apartment. So
I was going to say that, Papa Tig might not be too happy about our horseplay.
Well, you really need to be more specific about your commands.
I don't know about this stuff, really. I don't know about the Rod of Absorption too well.
All right, let's just say you got a couple of Scorching Rays, and you got 2 Scorching Rays, because or a Scorching Ray and Haste. That's easier. Scorching Ray, Haste, those are the 3rd levels. And then
it honestly doesn't matter what the actual spell is because it gets absorbed. So I'd much rather jump to
the thing. That's fine then. Yeah. Well, then,
It's like,
It's
not
just
flavor. Like it doesn't actually affect. So
it's
I'm
actually.
gonna roll 5 wild magic checks.
This would be fun.
yes, this is the bit where this could be madness.
That was an 8, so that's fine. We're good.
Yep.
That was a 2. Very close to being a problem. That was a 9. Fine. That's 3 rolls. This is a natural 20, so we're definitely fine.
This feels like weird bingo.
Yeah, it is.
Natural 20. That's what they say in bingo, don't they, when you get 20?
You do.
And
Natural
13.
20.
Unlucky 13. All right, we're fine. No wild magic.
Good. Rander, as this happens, just to sort of theatricize the mechanics, Huck is just falling spells on you before they're firing it on, you're seeing him actually move quite fluidly, because it's rare that you see Huck, who is very proficient in magic, just go 1 2, it's usually spell and then time. So this whole movement is quite beautiful to watch, but you do notice sort of around him, at one moment in time, you swear that Tig's head is like a bunny's head. You also think that bushes have just sort of grown into the apartment at one point, and it's almost like reality is sort of going woof, 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 but not grasping in this plane of existence. So there was times where the wild magic was almost sort of crackling through, and as an artificer, you're getting goosebumps. Your hairs are standing up. You're like, woof, woof. I don't think you've ever been in this level of raw arcane power before.
I haven't let loose in a long time.
Would I be able to do some kind of would I be able to do an Arcana check or something, just to kind of I guess
yeah,
gauge
you can do an Arcana check.
He's a
Brace for impact.
Yeah, I was gonna say you better not try to do it while I'm trying to fire spells at him. Take the
Yeah. Afterwards, you can do a
I got a 20.
Oh.
Nice.
20 altogether.
You get the beat on this. Huck as a puka, as a creature of the Fae, is imbued with wild magic, chaotic magic. It's not. It is the antithesis to everything you do with magic and the fabrics of reality, where you are precise and calculated and logical. He is just pure will and force and charisma. It is a sight to behold, because theoretically, if you actually could focus that through a beam or your mind begins to wonder. Actually, let's do this. We go as you're thinking about this, we go whoop, into Randir's head. Randir, What's going on in there?
Yeah, he's probably like part of him is probably this like I'm gonna get him back for hitting me with that firebolt. And the other side is probably just his brain is wondering about just because I guess this is the first time that he's heard about like planes and stuff like that, but he's never actually been like I guess this close to like wild magic and the possibility of them. So like he is just absolutely going wild about what the possibilities of ingredients for new beers are, kind of thing. And also obviously the further knowledge that he could learn and stuff. But he is definitely like trying to find out more and more about the kind of I guess planes and what they might entail and stuff, especially because we're trying to figure out about the roads and stuff. That he's just like this seems to be this easy for Huck to be able to like drag this world into like, or drag his world into this kind of thing. He's just really kind of I guess overwhelmed about the people he just met.
Yeah,
if this idiot is this strong, think how tough I could be.
Like, because it's just one of those things where, yeah, because like Arlington, he was like, it's revealed like he felt that like, oh, I don't think he knows that it's the High King, but he felt like in awe about Arlington and the leadership skills and stuff like that. That he's just like, and now Huck is like literally just nearly torn a hole in fabric of reality. He's definitely just like, I might be over my head here as a brewmaster.
That's true. Like it's been a matter of hours in which you've been in the presence of like pure celestial radiance and like anointed champions, and then also this like force for chaos, and like make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh crap!
To see if your little mind.
Don't worry, nothing. It's mere flavor, and you can accept this as DM or not. So
Randir runs away forever.
Yeah, his mind breaks. I got a 4 as well, so that's great.
Yeah, I think the events of today are kind of terrifying. Like no one creature should have all this power.
As Kanye West said.
As famed Dungeon Master Kanye West.
Famed bard Kanye West.
No one man should have all this power. And there is, and let alone 2, but I don't know if you're a religious man, Randir, or I don't know if you kind of put any faith in the gods, but this is probably the closest you've come to destiny as well.
Yeah, like, I think I don't know if we're making canon that Randir is the only thing he is aware of outside of this plane of existence is other Randirs, but like...
Yeah.
Which is now just confused him because all he thought was just like, there's this other Randirs out there in the universe, but I have never met them or will never meet them. And now he's just like, okay, well, there's more crap.
Wait. So Randir has met other versions of himself, and that's fine. Someone cast a
he is only aware. Every Randir character I make is aware that there are other Randirs on other planes of existence, but they've never met and never will.
Okay.
And this one, of all the Randirs that I know of that I've seen you play, this one I think it's fair to say is like purely in a theoretical sense. Like theoretically there could be multiple Randirs, because theoretically there could be multiple. Like it's an unproven theory. But in this moment in time, you kind of go, this could actually fucking prove my theory. Like there could be other worlds. Why are we saving this one? Let's head to the Forgotten Realms. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. So as like I guess with this all thing and this control, Randir would probably like does Huck have like a piece of like an arcane focus?
Yeah, I think I do. To avoid the component part, I think at the very, very start I picked it. Oh. So in theory, part of the fluff is that it's there, because otherwise I'd have to use like.
While you're looking that up, I'm going to jump over to Arlington. Arlington, your survival roll. What was that?
You said it was 2, right? Was it in 2 rolls?
Yeah, roll 2. Yeah.
Was that for 2 different rolls, or was it for advantage?
No, it was 2 different rolls.
Okay, Grant, because we are with my axe, I get advantage on them. So I rolled a 23 for the first one and an 8 for the second one.
Nice. You book it to the section of town you believe Goat to be in, which is up near. You run. You sprint through the mid-town of Sleep Gem. In front of you is that giant dwarven's carved face in the cliff with the waterfall that kind of comes out of its mouth and forms a foamy beard. And you know that up there, goat sort of stall has been set up somewhere up in the upper levels, like near the main front doors out to the surface world, in this sort of cavernous dwarven city. The 8 is the tough bit. It's like you're not sure how to get up there. Like I can see it. If anyone's ever been to the city of Edinburgh, it's like when you're down in Cowgate and you look up and you go, I can see the road I'm meant to be on. How the fuck am I meant to get up there? So with that in mind, how would Arlington solve the
sorry, so would I be able to climb up it, or does it look like it's up the beard?
You can climb up it. If that's the solution. It's kind of up to you. You can search the streets, you can ask a person, you can climb up it. This is D&D, baby.
Yeah.
There's no PC conversations.
I think Arlington moves to like ask someone for directions, and then just sort of hears Grud shouting in his mind, being like, "No, we don't need any help." And then he hears like Iraman being like, "No, a true leader sets by example." And he just gets a bit confused, like, "Fine," and he's going to just sprint at the nearest wall or the whatever building or wall he needs to clamber up. And yeah, I'm just going to try and brute force this.
All right, make an athletics check.
Yeah, I was trying to debate if it's worth raging. It's probably not worth raging. Probably.
If it was a strength-based thing, then you should have raged.
I get a good modifier. It's a 14, but I rolled a 3.
Yeah, it's slippy because you're right beside a waterfall. So I don't know if you've ever tried to climb the wet rock of a waterfall, but it's a difficult task. Do you have any climbing tools? Do you have any kind of adventure kit with you?
No. What was my starter kit? I don't think I have climbing tools. I might have rope. Well, I think we've used that up tying people up, because that's kind of my jam. No, I think we've used up pretty much all of my adventuring gear by this level, and I never replenished it.
Unfortunately, the sad thing is you get almost up to the top, and it's like, and you feel like the rock just sort of, you're within leaping distance, but the rock is beginning to give.
Okay, as I start to slip, as I've like reached the top, can I use a charge from my Pixie Torque of Gobby Protex and get my spiritual goblin guy to give me like a boost?
Are you Yoshiing this motherfucking leap?
Yes, I want to Yoshi my way up. Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Nice.
You can absolutely. I live to serve.
I think I'll leave it up to you as well, because our good friend of the show, Ash, who created that item, didn't specify as to whether it's the same goblin every time, or if each goblin like ceases existing, like if he effectively dies afterwards. So I think I'd leave it up to you as to whether this goblin then dies afterwards, or
getting to know, and you'll find out. But you don't know. Like,
okay.
So as you launch this goblin out, and he goes, I live to serve, and he floats in the midair. You leap off, push off him, and make a athletics check with advantage.
Oh, give me something better. That's better. That is 28.
Yeah, you land comfortably at the top of this waterfall at the upper levels of the city to the screams of and a sickening crunch down somewhere near the bottom, mixed in with then kind of like, I'm still alive, but please, anyone can. And you hear in the distance like, as ambulances try to make it, but the rails of the city have been disrupted. And they can't seem to make their way to this poor goblin who bleeds out on the rocks.
Oh god. Okay, so I peer back over at him. Like, does he look corporeal, like not spiritual, like he's flesh and bone?
He's much and bone.
Oh god.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I thought he'd be like a ghostly fey creature that would sort of disappear. I didn't even think jumping on him would hurt him. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be sick. Oh, that poor creature. Oh, that looks like Goat's shop, I suppose. Well, while I'm here, I may as well still try and find him.
You turn around and you see a small kobold inventor who you know is Goat. He goes, "What? Oh, Arlington!"
Hello, I jumped up all by myself. It's good to see you, Goat.
Well, I'm glad you avoided whatever was happening down there. That sounds terrifying.
It was a travesty. I think a goblin attacked a small baby or something.
Arlington. And he takes out a little notepad and he flips through and he goes, "Oh, I can't read my writing. Did we have a deal, like a merchandising deal? Do you owe me items? Do you have some of my items?
That sort of sounds familiar.
What did I lend you?
You'll
A
have to refresh
whippersnapper?
my memory.
You didn't take the compows for whatever reason. They're very useful.
That's a disgusting name, but mostly that.
I don't see it myself.
I think didn't I modified something? Did I modify the shield? No.
No, you modified your axe, and he
the
wasn't
axe.
very
He gave me an
helpful.
axe. He gave me an axe. He modified my one-handed axe into a trick axe, so it could turn into a two-handed axe. That was it.
Yes. Yeah. But
So I whip out the axe and just kind of into like kind of switchbladey sort of flick. I'm like,
yes, it was. I believe I was testing out this weapon for you. It works wonderfully well. I haven't gotten much use out of it because when I reduced the layer skull axe, sort of found this one pretty promptly afterwards.
It glows with magical radiant energy.
Although, to be honest, I haven't. I mean, now that I'm holding, I have two-handed axes in each hand, and God, I've got to tell you, this feels pretty great. I haven't even considered doing this. No, you know what? It's yours. It's yours. I should give you it back.
Yeah, you hand it over, and he throws it over his shoulder into the shop and says, "There's no time for that. How have you been?"
It's still a good axe. I've been fine. I've been wonderful. We've encountered, I believe, a companion of yours, Randir, a little dwarven fellow.
Companion. He says companion. No, apprentice. We're not friends.
I might have missed that. Good to know. He's a hard worker. He's a lot of ambition. You've really done well taking him under your wing. Are you free to chat about some sort of world-saving shenanigans?
Not really. I have a shop to run.
Can you hold for just 2 seconds? Give me 2 seconds.
I'm going to turn away and like start massaging my temples and be like,
Iramon. No, shut up, Grudge. Not now. I need the king.
I want to let like Iramon as much as I can sort of take over.
Yeah, make a. What do we set for this? Like intelligence?
Oh God, I mean that's fair. But
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, I think you just need a straight intelligence check. You're looking for a 10, just so you know.
Very fair. 11 with my modifier of 0.
Yeah. Iramon comes to the fore. How would you, just between player and DM, how do you want to do this? Do you want to just like take the wheels, or do you want to bounce them off me as if we go into some sort of inky dark space?
I think I'd be okay running it, but I'll take your lead as to what does and doesn't make sense. Like I'll take like nudges here and there. Like I'm not going to be like, I would like to win this scenario now, please.
Yeah, good.
Because we haven't really discussed what kind of person Iramon was. I guess it's something we can chat about off stream.
Well, I was sort of in my own head canon, but I'm more than willing to change that. And you know, for any DMs or players watching, you can do this stuff at the table. You can do it in front of people. It's not all emails and texts. I was basing Arlington's accent and the Elven accents I was kind of doing in Drift off the fact that Arlington was kind of a unconscious Aramon. If that makes sense.
So rather than Iramon being a third person, Arlington was the Iramon impression on Grud.
Yes, but not, and that kind of ties in the Arla Dum, Arla Doon, as in you are Arlington.
So for possibly the 5th time during this campaign, it's Michael's secret stuff. It was within him all along.
Yeah.
That is the overarching lesson of this campaign.
Yes. it's always in you from the very beginning. The tricks and tips have been there. But that being said, I think the way to maybe do it is that you play Arlington now as a sort of regally inspired, but there's specific questions about Hibernian lore, like old avatars, if you get me. Then we can then do a thing.
Counter proposal.
Cool.
I'm happy to rolling to get information that Iramon might know. I think personality-wise, I think it should be Grud doing his impression of a politician and believing that it's a third person, but it's actually just Arlington doing the driving effectively.
Yes, sure.
That sounds. So I'm not thinking a third personality, just being like, this is his idea of what a high king. Like Grud now sees himself as a very important high king.
Mm-hmm.
So
love it. Love it, love it, love it. So what does
Okay.
that you coax Aramon or the persona of Aramon? Because really, guys, aren't we all just people performing different roles in lives, depending on the positions we're in? You know, isn't that true of each and every one of us? So you coax the Aramon persona forward in some sort of James McAvoy masterful performance.
It looks and sounds great. Yeah, okay. I turn back around, and I sort of address Goat. I look in the eye. It's like, it's very important that you come along with me now. Together, you and I, Goat, together, we will assemble and save this realm of Hibernia. I want to stress that I'm doing like the weird like thumb thing that politicians do.
Yeah, I got the politician list. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's important that you, one of the most famed inventors of our time, and us, a very impressive sort of adventuring crew, make history together and defeat this dark evil before we're all consumed. Will you accept that responsibility thrust onto you? Goat. Thank you.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Nice.
I'm surprised that you didn't use the party kind of like analogy. It's like we are a very strong party.
Together. God, I'm glad I advantaged. Well, the second one was a 1, but the first one was a 17. I keep forgetting I have a -1 to persuasion. I need to stop persuading people.
No,
17,
but it does.
17.
Goat goes, well, actually, when you put it like that, I suppose the, like, how could I say no? After all, when you're wearing such a lovely blue shirt and everything, I couldn't possibly say no to that. So, where to?
Wait, I think you got it there.
Where to? Where we go? Like, I better. And Goat is closing up the shop around, and you hear from inside, I'm still in here.
Bye. How far did I climb to get up here? What's the drop?
Like 120 feet.
Okay, so I'm not going to grab him and jump down.
But there is a soft goblin to, cushion the fall.
It's goblin terminal velocity.
Yes, yeah. Look, you grab him. He jumps right on board.
I'll trust his directions. He clearly knows the way back better than I do.
Yeah. And we pull out from this moment as Arlington with Goat on his back sort of grabs a vine, does a flip, like controls some rocks with his mind, and basically trains his way through back to the with like a little Yoda backpack. You make your way back to Tig's apartment. But before any of this even ever happened, what's that? Rewind the tape. We're back in the Clockwork Tangerine. We're down in the vaults with our friend Nameless Dwarf as Huck is pawing this tattered cloak. So this is what myself and Keelan were talking about afterwards. He's like, in hindsight, I might have tried to take that cloak. So we're back in the reality-shifting, future-predicting cloak world. Huck, make a sleight of hand check. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah. I love this. Using a flashback in order to do a sleight of hand check that may fail. That's wasting a pretty good flashback, but we know what happened.
Fail upwards.
It'd be great to cut to it. And then does he steal it? No, he failed. All right, well, anyway, that's what happened.
Well, no, it means if he fails, it does something.
Oh, yeah. 16 on dice, and my sleight of hand is not bad because he's sneaky. Contrary to...
Got to get your AC from somewhere.
Yeah. Of course, I have to actually look at sleight of hand plus 7. We're talking
that is quite
24.
Good.
23.
But either way, above what you needed to get, as you sort of, everyone turns around to chat to this leader of the Clockwork Tangerine, and you rip a part of your own cloak to leave in the ground as tatters to swap this out with. You do a sort of sandbag trick to take this. So add that tattered cloak to your inventory. I will point out to the other players and to the audience watching, because you could don't be that Gygax, me as the DM right now. Huck technically doesn't have a flashback point to this moment in time. It's a flashback to the party in Tig's place, which you as a player still have. I'm happy for you to keep that. I just think that like after the stream, you just kind of said, actually, I would have done that. We're live, so it's not as relaxed and as casual as like a home table. I'm more than welcome if someone wants to kind of go, I probably would have done that. And when it doesn't involve other characters and it's as easy as just a roll, like fucking why not? I don't see the problem with that. So that's what
It was
I'm
a sleight of hand
doing.
once everyone had left. He was just a little slower, you know.
Yeah. So you pocket it.
Cool. This was the cloak. Just to remind everyone that when I put it on, showed me a bunch of things. One of which was all of my friends dying.
Yeah, this was in the vault of the mansion, so it's not like it was ages and ages ago.
No, it was very.
It wasn't like
You were surrounded by like the bones of your friends or something messed up.
This was the
I think I think you're dead right.
Strange.
You definitely would have taken that. That's very. No one's gonna be like, what a horrible vision. I guess I'll put this here and never talk about it again.
Yeah. No, he's somewhat obsessed with it. So it's a kind of way to go into the flashback.
Why wouldn't you keep it, little hobbits?
He's maybe we're in Tig's place. He's just kind of like secretly pulled it out of his bag to check it's there. This is the first time.
Yeah.
You know. So the
flash shimmers and sort of whispers like the smoke of incense on the wind. That's the sort of texture this gives off.
Ooh.
You get back to Tig's place, Arlington, with Goat, and you pull in. And Tig turns and goes, well, I suppose no better time than the present to talk about the plan. You've been gone for and you kind of went for, it's now like your dinner's cold, but the lads have eaten, sort of thing. If any of you guys want to take a short rest, by all means, we can do that like mechanically otherwise. Arlington, you don't get one. Iggy doesn't get one. She's reading. She's reading a book, so she is for kind of DM honesty. She's 2 hours into her book, because the book has a specific amount of time that she needs to read it for. So she's 2 hours in.
So she's just got through the prologue.
Yeah. She's like, this isn't a choose your own adventure.
Iggy strikes me as someone like not out of illiteracy, but out of just being very cautious. She strikes me as like a finger along the words reader, like just doesn't want to make sure she doesn't miss any words. She can read them all fine, she just doesn't want to make absolutely sure.
Yeah, that's how she starts. And then she starts drawing on the page.
I was going to say definitely doodles in the margins, like keep coming to life and then attacking her, and it's a whole thing.
You hear a thundering knock down the hallway, which draws your attention. You hear the pounding of feet up the corridor and sort of bashing on doors as they pass.
There's the black hole!
Open up! City guard, don't panic. We're searching for those responsible for tampering with the railways and the mail on sentence of death. And
I'm sorry, did you bang on the door, say don't panic, and then say sentence of death?
Well, if you haven't tampered with the mail and you haven't tampered with the railways, don't panic. But as the corridors from either side start kind of boom, 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 and you can hear these footsteps kind of filling in towards, rather aptly towards, like as if the middle apartment is Tig's. They're hitting it at equal measure. On sentence of death, we will capture those people. We saw one of them running through here recently with a small kobold on his back. And we will take a break. We'll be back in about 15 minutes to pick up what happens here. If you are watching along live, thank you very much. If you want to support the show and you don't already, please do follow us on our social channels. We've got @HomebrewQuest pretty much across the board, and we're pretty active on them these days. We're not always good at that, but we're keeping a good measure. If you're really enjoying the show and you want to support somehow financially, if you want to buy us a coffee, we do have a coffee account. But I will point out that we don't actually keep any of it. We donate it to an organization we truly believe in, who are the real heroes in our world, in Ireland, an organization called Maasai. They're the movement of asylum seekers in Ireland, and they do incredible work to help people in a system called direct provision. Before the break, I don't have enough time to go into the harrowing world of direct provision, but you can look it up. It's on the internet. You can see why we care so much about this cause. And aside from that, go, if you're listening to the podcast, we're a video show. So that's the thing. We don't say that enough on the podcast for you podcast listeners. Do let us know what you're drinking. Do subscribe. Do all the things. We'll say that again at the end. But we're just going to take a quick 15, and we're going to pick up right when the city guard are hot on Huck's punks. They're hot on Huck's punks' tails.
Boy, am I glad I used all my powerful spells.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that when we were like, let's do all this. I'm like, yeah, but what if we get attacked just before bed? Cool.
Always attack. DMs always attack them just before bed. That's when they're the weakest.
And as we say before every break, don't forget to cast subscribe and likes and all that stuff. As is our
Well, cut us out of
catchphrase.
here because I don't have a smooth tangent into the break. So you just cut me off.
Cool. See you later.
Time for an awkward wave.
See you in 15 minutes, guys. Welcome back to part 2 of Homebrew. Before we dive into the action, where a cohort of city guards are knocking on every door leading up to Tig McGuinness's apartment, let's have a couple of quick announcements. Wes, you want to tell the people some stuff?
I do. This is a podcast. Go subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to them. Homebrew Quest or just Homebrew, but Homebrew Quest will probably get you there. Also, we are on YouTube if you are watching us live. Subscribe, please. Like, please. You can find our playlist of all the episodes in order, including our side episodes, including special guests like Ash Minnick, Orlany Dool, the wonderful Tony Cantwell. All kinds of fun episodes there, and our special one shots. I ran a Paddy's Day episode or two, and also if you could like tell people who might like the show to give it a go, like a watch on YouTube, a listen on their podcast network, it really helps us out. Word of mouth is kind of a better sell than just an algorithmic marketing thing. Recommend to your friends. It helps us out a huge amount. And thanks for watching or listening. If you already are.
Yeah, we are dangerously close to 500 subscribers on YouTube. So if you could tell a friend, that would be incredible. Like, it's honestly like, wow. Like, and we are so thankful that you do watch. So look, if you're not in a position to share, to talk, to do that kind of stuff, thank you for watching. But if you are, holy, let's take this to the moon.
Which is where campaign 2 will be set.
On the moon. Speaking of the moon, have you seen DakotaIrish.com? So we partner with Dakota Irish. They're a artisan crafts dice tray, dice tower, dice vault, and dice maker here in Ireland, right here in this lovely lush green land we call home. And they've been with us since like pretty much the beginning. And for you, for the listeners, as a thank you for telling people, for sharing the news about the show, for telling friends, for recommending it, we've organized 10% off your first purchase on their online store. So if you go to DakotaIrish.com and you use the promo code HUCKSPUNKS, don't spend too long thinking about it when you write it in, but HUCKSPUNKS, it's on the overlay, you'll get 10% off.
Just shoot it on in there. Just shoot it on.
Fire it in. Sploosh it into the promo code.
I don't see what you're talking about. There's no problems.
Yeah. There's nothing in there.
It's just Huck's
No
Punks.
problems. Only punks.
It's just Huck's Punks.
Huck's.
Right, I've taken a sip of beer. I've cracked up another beer. What did I get into? Scraggy Bay.
There's definitely some random person who's like doing that whole firing a shitload of words and trying to get a promo code, and they're like, oh, I don't know, Huckspunk. Holy shit, that worked! Whoa, why did that work? What is that? I don't know who Huck is.
Yeah, I don't know who Huck is or what.
They deserve the 10% off.
They do, yeah.
They do.
Yes, look, they cracked the code.
If you have brute forced your way into a promo code, then fucking fair play to you.
You strong-armed your way into some spunk, my friend.
We'll
Enjoy your compile.
We'll need to make sure that that's part of the tag, on YouTube, so that when they do find Huckspunks or as 10% off, they go, oh, maybe I'll just check it and quickly have a look and see what the hell this thing is, and then all our stuff comes up.
Yeah.
It's all guerrilla marketing, baby. Welcome to the fold.
It would just say, like, get off the internet, you sick fuck pervert. Like, and then we'll shut down their computer. Right, I know it's boys' night, but let's quit talking about cum, right? So we can get into the action. We jump back into the
very loud, Mike. I apologize.
No, it's perfect. We zoom back in, but again, because very much so keeping me honest as a DM, which is well worth it because I'm deep, I'm deep in the cans. Rander, you wanted to do something just before those city guards get to you.
Yeah, so as an artificer, I'm able to do infusions, and one of the infusions I wanted to do was enhanced arcane focus, and I wanted to give that to Huck as a kind of, because as we've said in the first half, Huck or Randy has now seen this whole like wild magic kind of thing, and he's terrified of it, so he's going to try and like maybe build something that or infuse something to make it kind of a little bit more, I guess, stable. So I will infuse... I
love this because it sort of ties into the mindset that you were in, trying to take the world. And in my own head, I just picture Randir's brain as one of those like stargazing, spinning, those things, those clock, I don't know what you actually call them, but they're like telescopes that spin around the room and then like the lenses line up and they focus shit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What the
rotoscopy kind of things.
What?
Yeah, it's like basically a giant like solar system kind of thing.
Oh, you mean
Yeah,
like
but
a projector that projects a night
Like
sky?
a planetarium thing.
No, I'm thinking of that scene in Skyrim where you're playing the game and you get to that weird wizards thing and has like
Oh,
multiple
Yeah, it's got
clockwork
the
kind of-
night sky on the roof above, and it's like a
Mhm.
dome.
Oh, you mean like an orrery?
Yeah, kind of that
That's
kind of thing.
an orrery is the thing with the clockwork planets moving in the you know.
That's what I was thinking of, and then you said Skyrim, and then I realized.
I'm thinking the one that has like a small lens. I mean, we're getting distracted here, but that's okay. But like small lens, bigger lens, biggest lens, and it sort of focuses a beam through like the moon or whatever. You see in fantasy shit all the time. You know what I'm talking about.
I think you're
If
just
we're out
talking
there-
about like magnifying glasses. It's like
maybe very very.
Do you mean a
quite possible.
sundial?
yeah.
But if you know the word for that, if you're a nerd like us, but not if you're a better nerd than us, and you know the word for that thing, then please get in touch. Let me know. It will drive me crazy, and I'm refuse to look it up until you tell me. But that idea that you're focusing this magic is so fucking chef's kiss. I love it.
Yes, so yeah, that's the idea. Is that so? Essentially, an enhanced arcane focus is you gain a +2 bonus to spell attacks rolls, and also you will ignore half cover if anyone you're targeting is in half cover, they won't get the +2 to dexterity bonus for the AC.
The unfortunate thing is though that rocks fall and Randir dies. Sorry, you can't be coming in here and breaking my game, Paul.
If it helps, Paul, I don't think we have once dealt with half or 3/4 cover in this whole campaign.
It's
it's not a fault of Ben. We've never thought to take cover.
It's not. Yeah, I'm more focusing on the +2 to spell attack rolls. Like, so it just
that's nice.
That's more of it. So like, yeah.
To be clear, that's +2 to hit, right?
Yes, essentially, yeah. So when you're rolling to hit for your spells,
for anyone, that's the layman's way. It's just a +2 on whether or not I hit.
Yeah.
That's specifically.
I know nothing about artificers, but I love them the more I hear about them. You're like the perfect combat buff class. If you're out there and you haven't played D&D before, become an artificer. It's in. You didn't hear me say this. Maybe better than a bard.
It's in Eberron: The Last War. Isn't that where you can get the class?
Eberron does seem like the mechanical sort of steampunky sort of setting, isn't it?
I have that book, and I was going to look up the class, and I heard Paul was going to start one. I was like, I don't want to learn.
Quit distracting me from your inevitable demise. I'm trying to kill you.
What's your favorite source book?
Yeah, you hear just as you hand back, just let's say for dramatic tension, it's literally the moment you hand back Huck's jacks, which are your arcane focus. You hear these dum, 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 and down one corridor, open up, and then another corridor, city guard, and then another corridor, do not panic. So it wasn't the same person. That's why it makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, just for geography's sake, is Tig's apartment in, like, are they literally either side of, like, are there two doors into his apartment, or did I misunderstand what you were saying before?
No, there's not two doors. There's like a corridor.
And we can hear the
And
conversations.
you can hear them coming down the corridor, coming towards the front door.
I thought there was like 3 rows of apartments and we had guards either side. I'm like, well, this is a very poorly laid out. Okay, cool.
No, they're just coming down the sort of long corridor in a classic
So we can hear them
fantasy
rapping on
medieval
doors.
apartment complex. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. We're searching for those responsible for tampering with the railways and mail on sentence of death. And at that same time, through the window, you see a shimmering dark red light pass by. It's almost like a searchlight.
Sniper!
And you can see it's scanning the building, stopping at each window one by one. Peering out the window, you see this colossal construct. It is a mechanical machine towering about 80 foot from the ground, and it is eye level with the floor you were on. It's humanoid in shape, but it has these 4 snake-like iron arms protruding from its torso, and one cyclops-like eye, which is scanning the building. Under his breath, you hear Tig say, "Oh, a clockwork beholder. Magic nullifiers. We don't have much time. It's certain death if that thing catches us. Huck's, where can you... What? And for once, despite his stuttering loss for words, he is lost for words. Huck Spunks, the spotlight is closing in. The guards are getting closer. What do you want to do?
Randir is going to go towards the door to open it, as he's completely oblivious to what you guys did.
I plant my hand solidly on Randir's shoulder before he does that.
We should explain to Tig quickly and Randir that other people might be under the apprehension that we, in fact, destroyed the mail system.
We might have blown up the post office. They want to put us in prison for it, but I can't go to jail, man. I just won't go to jail.
Look, it was all, I mean, it just sort of happened.
We can explain later, but we have to get out of here. It sounds like this beholder thing is pretty scary.
But if we could kill one and we can get into its eye, I hear we could get pure beauty.
Wow, the silence on
that
one.
Psychic damage. Take 3 psychic damage. Just you players, not the characters.
So is the beholder outside looking, like from outside the building, and it's kind of scanning the rooms? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's scanning the windows of the apartments, sort of balcony by balcony.
And have they knocked on? They have knocked on our door, but we heard them knocking on doors up until our door as well.
No, they haven't gotten to yet, but they're closing in door by door.
But they're closing in from like either side.
Yeah, like delightfully equal. Lovely as a little tension of like second by second they're getting closer.
Okay.
So they haven't gotten to us yet.
No, but
you have a matter of like less than a minute, I would say.
Okay, because Huck could just walk out and try to just get out ahead of this. But like, what's going on? I'm just a wee lad. Sure, what could I possibly do? Do you want to come in for some drinks? That's more or less my suggestion.
Okay.
Arlington, you hear Huck put forward the suggestion that he just talks them down. It is as stupid as it sounds.
Just say, how you doing, lads?
Okay,
let's all be friends.
I'm gonna run to the room where Iggy is reading her book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna burst the door open and be like, Ignatius, there's no time to explain. We're about to be attacked by a lot of people. Could you mind control anyone real quick? Is that the thing you can do? We need to basically have people turn a blind eye to us.
Or the invisibility.
You say all of that, but you don't hear anything.
Oh shit! Right.
Oh, this will be fun. Charades. I'm great at charades.
She's probably facing the wrong way, so there's okay.
Yeah, you see her. Yeah, she's not paying attention to you.
Okay, I'll in the heat of the moment be like, fuck, and I like turn back around and be like, okay.
Can we roll for charades?
Well, we can roll for charades later on. Real quick. Prince Huck, Papa Tig, is there any way you can have people like not see us, make us invisible? Maybe have is there anything you could do to make us less conspicuous? Maybe change our form and we could sneak past these guards.
I used a lot of my good spells, particularly the great changing form spells on Randir. He just told me to lay into him, and I didn't he think of any problem? So he's really screwed us.
It's a double cross.
Which goes, yeah, I'm actually like Patrick O'Hare, the secret police.
We have a Wicklow wolf amongst our midst, my friends.
Oh.
I can cast gaseous form on everybody, and we could just sneak out cracks in the walls and stuff.
Oh,
yes, would that work on all of us?
Yeah, I could do it. I could cast it on everybody.
How long does it last?
At least on you guys. It lasts up to 1 hour. So I could cast it on you 3 because me and Papa Tig are not actually under investigation from the guys.
You hear outside, on sentence of death, even if you've been harboring these criminals.
Count me in.
That's so good.
Tig quips up
our initial statement.
Tig quips up the rug, and you see on the ground he's sort of carved in a loose circle shape. And he turns to you, Arlington, and goes, "Well, boy, you know what I say. Always keep a teleportation circle handy. The only thing is I don't know."
He does always keep a teleportation.
Literally, I say it every day. Like I wake up in the morning and I say, "Keep a teleportation circle."
You have a child.
He says, "Good morning, my son. Are you ready to teleport just in case?" That's what he says every day.
It's never come up. Today's the day.
This would have been great to. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed. This is sort of scared. Put the shits up me, Papa. I wish I'd known you had one here. This is a rental. I didn't think you were going to carve some runes into the floor. You've definitely lost your deposit.
I don't think we have time.
Remember, did I say sometimes keep a teleportation circle handy?
No, you said always keep a tally. No, you don't fool me. Don't fool me. You're absolutely right.
Where are we going?
Well, that would be up to you guys, but I don't think we'll. So, are we? Is it gas or are we getting out of here?
It's bean gas, that's for sure.
Teleportation.
I'm all right. I'm all right with getting out of here if we can bring everyone. Goat, are you okay with coming along? Would you?
You see Goat leaning out the window, and he has like in his hand a folded out hand glider. And he goes, "You fucks are on your own." He dives out the
Goat,
window.
you could have given us something useful.
I definitely want to try and snatch him before he goes.
Yeah, you can.
I'll
before
help.
he makes his daring escape.
I'll help with that. In fact, so that we can specifically stop him. Oh no, I can't use that thing anymore. That gives you the plus because I've already used that in the previous session. I'll just
Papa Tig, where can you take us, or is it up to our imagination?
Well, I was kind of hoping you'd have a destination in mind because there's no point in going back to my house.
we do have a plan.
Can we go to the bog area? In the map, it has like really concentration of all those roads.
But we had a plan to meet some. We have some compatriots. And we have a plan to meet them somewhere very specific.
The Fianna? Were we meeting the Fianna?
Here. Fianna and the like.
Make a grapple check against Goat as he goes to dive out this window, and it is with disadvantage as you're half catching a plan and half trying to stop it.
Disadvantage.
Yeah, because you're kind of still talking to Tig about where to go.
Cool. So I'm like not really looking at him. It's like a parent tugging their child on by the arm.
Come on,
that is 22.
22. And what was yours, Huck?
Oh no, I didn't have to do it. Well, I was going to help him. So.
Oh well, then it's the straight roll, I guess. So even with disadvantage 22, that's fine. You do manage to grab him, and Goat starts screaming out, "Kidnappers! Kidnappers! Kidnappers in this apartment!"
I'm gonna try and stifle his mouth.
Oh, please, please, please.
We probably shouldn't try to kidnap my master. It's probably not a really good idea, lads.
We're not trying to kidnap him. It's just he seems like the kind of guy who'd have, just pop up people to talk to the guards for us, or something.
Speaking of guards, you hear right outside your door now. Boom, 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 boom. Open up! From the context clues, we know you're in there.
Who is it? All right, we have to go.
I'm definitely holding on to Goat. We can
convince you of our cause once we get there, but we need to get out of here now. I'm so sorry, my kobold friend. We need to go.
We need to? If you're going teleport circle, we need to.
Where were we meeting the Fianna? I'm afraid I've completely forgotten. I've got 5 minds in my brain.
That's fair. It wasn't that long ago that we came up with the plan, so in theory, I should know very well. But,
Can I just mention, lads? Maybe where you decide to meet them is more important when we get to the place we need to. You could just when you're meant to meet them, now.
Yeah, I think we've got a bit of time, don't we?
More or less as soon as we had finished the map thing here, wasn't it?
But I think we had a bit of time before we were actually meeting them. I think we finished up a bit early.
Probably. Well, where do you want to go?
Do you know what? Lucy was the one in charge of time. Let's just go to the bog and figure it out from there.
Or let's teleport. We could also teleport to the werewolf group.
What?
Because they would.
Yeah, you could.
They probably help us and protect us.
A slow grin creeps across Arlington's face, and he goes, "Yeah, let's go see them werewolves. It's decided. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I want to meet a werewolf. I want a puppy."
Yeah. So you all gather, and Rander, you explain the sort of, because the werewolves would have kind of given you the symbols and ruins to their teleportation circle. You won over their trust as a guest of theirs. And Tig furiously starts sort of carving it into the ground or using chalk to sort of do it out. As this red light comes across, and he goes, "Well, just before we go, are we forgetting anyone?"
Grab it, Iggy. And also,
thank you, DM Ben.
I did say it a couple of minutes ago.
I'm gonna grab her with my free hand.
I was gonna say, Rander just runs into the room and just grabs Iggy by the hand and then just runs out.
Yeah, I much prefer Arlington's bugbear, Mr. Tickle hand coming through the apartment.
I've got double the reach, baby. Mr. Tickle.
As Arlington's extra long reach reaches through the apartment, into the bedroom, around the corner, in a sort
Finally,
of Mr.
my
Fantastic
racial
style.
class features.
Arlington, the 17 different minds in your head imagine this wonderful scene as Randir comes out carrying like what's your like Iggy is taken by surprise, carrying style Randir, like damsel in distress over the shoulder, fireman, like what?
Yeah, I think just fireman, like, and just when we get out of the like area of the silence, he's just like, we gotta get out of here, we're gonna teleport, and like and get into the circle with her.
Nice. You make it to the circle just in time as this red glow, this magic nullifier, passes over the apartment. And almost like person by person, it just misses you as you go out of Sleeve Gem. The world begins to swirl around you, folding in on itself and twisting into intricate spirals. You feel the floor itself come out from underneath you, and as you fall and tumble and try to find your feet on new ground, I want you to make a acrobatics check. Everyone. And I'll roll for Goat, who's now been kidnapped, and for
a natural 20. My first
Iggy.
in a very long time.
Go well.
Didn't go well for me, and that means that it might not go as well for Iggy either.
I did badly.
Oh, he's about to Randir's about to rupture an ankle.
Anyone get lower than 14?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I just want to stress again, you get a 20.
And Ghost did as well. So as you're kind of like blasting through this twisting spiral, trying to stay together, Arlington, you notice that Randir starts to drift towards the edge of this moment in space, and as does Huck, does Ghost.
Okay. I want to. Where's it gone?
Remember, contracts are null and void if I.
Surely I have some kind of rope or something. I have very few supplies. Okay, actually, I have 2 javelins left. I want to try and hoist out a javelin if like 2 of them are spreading out in that direction, so they can grab onto it, whichever 2 are in the same direction. And then there's other ones. Shit. If I does it feel like if I let go of Goat, he'll float away?
I don't know.
So who I reach out? Who am I reaching out the javelin to?
Let's say it's Randir.
It's just Randir. I can't get like 2 people with it.
You've got like they're not in the same. Like Randir was coming from one direction. Huck was already sort of, bound near Tyke. Tyke could do it, but Tyke has a staff firmly planted in the circle and is holding onto it as a sort of focus. And you can see his arms shaking and his eyes in a moment of time going wide. And you see like a purely green version of him and a purely blue version of him like split into this technicolor sort of weirdness as Huck's and his form shakes by.
Okay, so is it Huck, Randir, and Iggy are the ones floating away? Is it just the 3 of them?
Iggy's actually grand. She slipped out of Randir's things and for her being firmly on the ground, she did really well. She got a natural 20.
So it's just the 2 lads?
Yeah, it's just the 2 lads.
Okay, I want to try and, when Randir grabs the javelin, I want to like swing it around to try and let Huck grab it as well, hoping that like there's enough length in it, like including my double-reached bugbear arms that I can reach him as well.
Also, as I'm being swung, I'll also try and help to kind of grab him.
Yeah, we've got like a daisy chain with your.
I presume you're all trying to stay in this thing.
Sure, I was going to cast you with my reaction and 2 sorcery points, Bend Luck, which is the thing that gives him the 1d4. I thought it was a once per day, but actually it just takes sorcery points. So, provided I have a reaction, I'm going to use it to bend luck in his favor towards saving me.
So, Arlington, I'm going to give you a choice. I'm not going to tell you what the choice means, but I think you as a player will know. You can roll with advantage, giving you a greater opportunity to get both of the lads, or you can do a straight roll, and you will still get both of the lads. But
I'm going to take a straight roll. I don't want to let go of Goat.
Yeah, make a straight roll.
I figured if there was a chance I was going to lose like Iggy or Tig or something, I would have just dropped him. But I think I'm going to try and grab the two of them.
You've got a +4.
Oh,
Luckily.
oh, thank goodness for that. Sorry, plus a D4 or a +4?
No, you +4. As in, I roll a 1d4 and
Okay.
I got a 4.
So what modifier am I adding to this?
Athletics. You're trying to athletic. You're trying to yeah.
Oh, that is wonderful news.
Oh, sorry, I meant performance.
No, I have a -1, you bastard. So that is 19.
Yeah. You managed to, in one long clothesline loop, a javelin in both of your friends. It does rock this sort of like tunnel of transportation and teleportation a little bit, and Ty goes, "My boy, no, you fool!" And you all tumble out onto the ground, and the ground below you, as you sort of roll out, is soft, squishy, and a sort of dark crimson liquid squelches around you as you all find yourselves somewhere that isn't the teleportation circle for the Kingdom of Ossuary. Rander, you can make a like a straight intelligence or survival check if you want. Survival is probably a good one for this.
Survival. I got a 19 altogether.
Nice. The landscape around you isn't too dissimilar to the Kingdom of Ossuary. You just get the feeling that you've been knocked maybe a couple of miles off. Like that you were almost there and you sort of just apparated just a second before you got there. And as you come to that realization that you've sort of transported like mostly across the world, or at least this half of the continent, so a quarter of the map. You've got a quarter of the map across. Because in my head, I know where it is. It's just outside the city of Sleep Gem. You are met with the stench of rotten corpses mixed in with sort of wild garlic. And like there's light floral tones there, and there's some woodland mulch. It's as if someone, as you kind of land on this sort of crumbled cobblestone muddy road, as if someone's tried to like mask Guinness shits with Yankee candles. That's the sort of vibe you get. You know, it's like horrible fucking stench and then like floral candle.
It caught me off guard at the end there.
And as your visions all sort of begin to focus from this, what I realized I was describing was like a Bifrost, which doesn't exist in. Actually, I think some of the stories between Thor and Loki and Irish mythology.
Did you end up watching like the animated Castlevania series? Because it feels like that.
No, but rainbows. So, sorry, I just thought about this.
Go on.
So the Bifrost from Norse mythology, that
Marvel,
like Thor and Loki and stuff, and Marvel. Sorry, I'm more known as Marvel. When
Marvel came up
the
with it
Vikings
first,
landed in Ireland and they brought some of their mythology to mix with our mythology, the idea of a rainbow in Ireland and lucky gold and leprechauns and sort of a connection to the other world was sort of mirrored with the Bifrost to the gods. So the way that our gods are fairies and they live in the underworld and their gods are connected by the Bifrost and rainbows, there is some strange connection between Norse and Irish mythology, and rainbows are it. So you fucking bubbled rainbowed across the world. I knew there was something. I knew there was a reason I was describing it like a.
So you're saying we're about to meet some Vikings in Pride t-shirts. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly.
I'm okay with it. That's it. They sound like fun people.
Can I be Thor? That's what we're going with?
You are Thor. You actually took some damage.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Not quite low-hanging fruit, but I liked it.
It took a little bit of work.
How much damage?
Your vision begins to focus as we... Oh, man, I'm fucking delighted with myself that it's something I was just improvising as a teleportation circle actually connects to Irish mythology somehow, kind of. I know there's something in it. Your vision begins to focus, and you are all... you sort of got spat out of this crumbled down small hut. And all around you, there are vines and large tree branches bursting through kind of village homes and sort of on the walls. And it seems like in this space, there's no it's not like they built houses around the forest. It's like there was no point to entry, and these forests just sort of appeared. You see a man reaching towards you, and there's like terror stricken on his face. But his body is impaled on a spike of thin wood, which skewers just like through his left eye, and you realize that this man is dead. Turning around, you see he's not reaching for you, but he was reaching towards this thicket of gorse. Sort of bright yellow flowers are stained with red, and among the gorse, ripped to shreds, is the remains of a person. You've sort of entered a weird, gross hellscape of a village that just seems to, as if in a split second, being overgrown with trees.
This is very important because it will help me brace myself, because I know DMs are always influenced by the media they consume. Ben, did you end up buying Resident Evil 8 by any chance? Because if so, I'm backing the fuck out of this campaign. I don't want to deal with a scary village.
No, I didn't. I am a scaredy cat.
Okay, good. I thought you were, and I just wanted to make sure we were both in that boat together. Good.
And I'm not that far into Castlevania either, so it's not that. It's my friend and yours, the flesh kebab, from this show.
Ah, good. He's referencing his own material. He's gone full Dungeon Master Circle. Fantastic.
Well, you've just also made me think we should probably play Resident Evil all together.
Yeah, good sound good.
Let's do all the scary games together.
Is everyone who was in the teleport? Did everyone make it? Is there anyone missing?
Yeah, everyone made it.
Keggy's here.
Keggy's here.
Most important.
Yeah. Everyone made it.
Great.
Is the important thing.
Randir, why did you bring us to Spook Central? This is a nightmare place.
This isn't the place I was trying to bring you to. This is just... And he like looks at the body and he goes, awful. Yes, awful.
You see a little village sign swinging, covered in splatters of blood, and it says Beaver 10.
Nah.
Like that guard we met.
Yeah, like the guard you met.
Is this where he's from?
Drinks you're drinking? Yeah. Let me make a note that I've called this place Beaver 10.
Yeah. I like the sound.
Just say Spook Village.
I thought for a second there, I thought
Ignatius, I know you were feeling a bit quiet and still a bit silent. Do you know if there's Beaver Town on any of your maps? Can you check that real quick?
Oh, aye.
Yeah,
or you could. Yes, the axe, doesn't that help with the locating?
The axe, it helps with topography, but I just want to make sure, see if Beavertown is like a known place, or if it's like, a village lost to time or something.
Iggy takes out the map and goes, "Oh, yes, let me see. Beavertown. And while she's looking, it takes her a while. Rander, you know that you passed through Beavertown on your way to Sleep Gem. It did not look like this when you passed through, though.
I'm trying to remember when I did pass through, because I remember going through the Dead Pony Club and stuff.
This was on your last leg from the Kingdom Monastery. We actually didn't do it on stream, but your last leg was towards Sleep Gem. You passed through this quaint little village called Beaverton.
I remember. Is this the place where Iggy or Bitsy terrified the townsfolk because it's nightmare fuel? Okay.
I mean, let's say yes, because she did that everywhere she went. As for the episode, that was closer to McKellar, but yes, she also did that here.
Okay. So this is not what this place is meant to look like. Like, what the?
On that, can I see how fey it looks? Is it just
Yes, you can. Make a with advantage because you're a part of the Fina. Make a nature check.
While
natural
Keelan's rolling, it's worth.
I'll roll again just to see if I can get better than natural 20. But
you can't. Why are you doing
these? No, I didn't. It's a good thing I had advantage. I got a 6.
Moments. If you can check out episodes 40 and 41, we have Randir's initial adventures through terrifying places with his sword and freaky doll friends.
Check out Stabby Gabby.
Yeah, Stabby Gabby.
It's a real talking point. Anyway, Huck, to your natural 20, you look around and you are surrounded by similar grotesque scenes. You see villagers in the middle of everyday tasks, sort of entangled by plant life. See, houses and shops have been crumbled by this relentless force of nature, and it would look like a sort of ruin overgrown, if not for the fresh smells and like the still semi-wet pools of blood trickling down the street. And as you're looking around, you see a flock of ravens just take off in the distance, cutting through what is sort of an ever-present buzzing of flies. You are, as you can see, in the small crossroads. And you're in a kind of crossroads village in the middle of what looks like a forest. And the road underfoot does show the telltale handiwork of the Clockwork Tangerine. But with a natural 20, you know even more than that. And what you know is that this isn't a direct result of Rua performing her ritual or starting a ritual, but has more to do with and you as an individual are like fucking pinpoint for understanding this. It's more to do with the volatility and the unpredictability of like wild magic. So like the Fae is innately connected with Rua's network of roads, and this unstable network of arcane ruins, like what's it, like the first pop of a kernel in a pot of unpopped popcorn kernels. This is just gone off. Not as any direct result of something Rua has done. It's just, this just happened. And you feel like you've gotten a vision of what the whole world will look like if you fail.
Wow. Aye, lads, this is wild magic. This is the offshoot effect of Rua's whole plan. She's messing with forces that you can't, let me tell you, you can't control it. I mean, maybe I could control it a wee bit better, but I didn't want to. But you can't control it, let me tell you. And this is the kind of thing I was afraid of when I left my halfling village. And the sort of thing I've constantly been terrified of doing to all of you, but it's turned out fine. It's all been grand. I wouldn't worry about that. I wouldn't. Don't worry about me doing it. It could happen.
So just real quick, there's a chance that you could impale us on spikes.
Oh, I'd say the impaling on spikes is among the better chances of choices. I mean, it really. I mean, does this seem like? Is there any kind of Fae tale or type of region of Fae? Like these are all the dark wood tree things, or I'm throwing you a curveball.
No, that is a really good question. Like, can you identify, having grown up there, if you're in sort of the summer or winter court, to put it in D&D patrons?
Yeah, winter.
Winter. Like it seems like the nastier side. Like it's thick brambles. It's sort of like there's thorns on vines, on leaves, on stuff. It's not your wonderful, delightful, like let's fall asleep in a poppy field kind of Fae. It's your here be danger. And actually, as you think of that, without rolling, because it's a good question, if the trees came through, what else came through?
Yeah, this is at the heart of somewhere in the winter court. I'll tell you that much. And we haven't remember when Randy, you won't remember, but when we were by the old gnarled tree, I mean that's as close to the winter court type of thing as we got, and that was actually just Snake Dog kind of wintering up a bit of summer.
I wouldn't give for Snake Dog to be our biggest problem right now.
Snake Dog wasn't that bad in the end, was she? You kind of long for her and her.
In hindsight, maybe we judged her too harshly because of her terrifying name.
You hear from the distance one of these bodies kind of creep towards you, and I kind of shush, be quiet.
We
Hags.
I stop speaking.
It's the same as the.
I put my hand over Huck's mouth.
I use message.
What's going on?
I use message.
An inch from your ear, Arlington. Huck unfurls not an actual wire, but like an inch from your ear. Huck, instead of whispering in, which is what message does, casts message. Huck, what do you say?
It's the hags. It's like, with the Snake Dog. Why are you trying to... We should be quiet. We should all be quiet.
It's not always a message.
Yeah, he doesn't think things
Through
through.
like a blocked hand. We
Yeah,
should
shut
be
the
quiet.
fuck up, Arlington.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Rander's gonna be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, I only said that.
Well, lads, I think we should find some cover because we might have gone from the proverbial frying pan and into the proverbial
Toilet.
fire.
Yes. No, I know.
Is there any like buildings that it looks like that are like the doors open that looks like we could get into?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Y'all know I'm good at those. I actually have a decent plus.
7.
Yeah, I've rolled real bad this whole evening.
They all look overgrown. So that's not to say that there isn't a building you can hide in. It's just that from Arlington's general understanding of the situation, you don't know which ones could be.
Papa, where would we hide? There are no buildings to hide in. There's only trees.
Well, hold on. And let me see if does Tyke have any sort of druid craft or anything. Let's see what Tyke can do. Can Tyke do any of that?
Can I look
Technically,
around?
as creator,
can
I
I
think
look
he's
around for cover?
prepared to create Unstoppable Fortress, which is a level 1 spell which makes him build a castle from his mind.
Oh, well, I didn't keep any of your stats.
I specifically gave you things that would help for this situation. That's not on me.
So create Unstoppable Fortress is a spell. That doesn't sound like a D&D spell. What? Create Unstoppable Fortress?
Oh, no, I completely made that up.
Go for it, but I think he's lying to you.
It's hard to
Yeah.
tell.
I'm almost sure Liam's tiny hut is higher than first level and isn't called Create Unstoppable Fortress. Now, if you had a
Build
can called
castle.
Create Unstoppable
Cantrip.
Fortress, then absolutely. Sorry, Huck, you were saying something.
I was going to say, can I have a go of looking around on the kind of Fey side of things to see a good spot to hide?
Yeah, you'd be okay with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost an O Fey. I rolled a 3. And I think my perception is +0. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to see because as you're looking around, the rain starts to fall and these raindrops of mixed berries.
Wicklow Wolf do a mixed berry.
It's a sour rain.
Yeah, it's a sour mixed berry rain that falls around you. And they do, and I've had it, and it's great.
Is it
And
blackcurrant?
we all quietly remember Sarah Susie and cringe.
Is it blackcurrant? Because that's
As
all.
opposed to
You know.
mixed
classic
berry.
statement.
Mixed berry sounds like a Matt Berry character from.
Does actually.
Yeah,
I
is
didn't
it
realize that
blackcurrant? Let me ask. Let me find out.
It's just that you don't get that outside of the
sours.
Ireland and the UK. You tend not to get blackcurrant as a flavor.
Unless you're throwing into Guinness.
Yeah, sorry. Arlington, you were saying something. Then I'll answer the beer question.
I really want to know the beer answer. Okay. No, I'm going to so the villager who said shush be quiet, were they like in cover? Where did they say that from?
They said it from half a torso hanging upside down from a tree.
Oh, okay.
Arlington just throws up.
I was thinking, when in Rome, but maybe not in this case. I'm going to I'm gonna keep Ghost tucked under my arm like a little American football, and grab Iggy by the arm and like gesture to Tig, and I want to try and like run into some kind of like gorse or any kind of like shrubbery to hide in.
You've become like a strong-armed, like night out kind of. Come on, I'm not against it, but I enjoy this.
This place is shit. We're going to another place. Come on,
come on, lads. You're all elbows and shoulders. You're the type of person I hate on a night out because I hate being touched. But like, I'm into this. To answer your question, Keelan, as talking about Wicklow Wolf, and in the distance you hear, so you're close to the Kingdom of Ossory.
Somewhere a review is happening.
Yeah, somewhere wolves are howling. Raspberry, blackberry, and blueberry, but no blackcurrant.
No, but that's still a good mix of mixed berries. That's what you want. All right,
yeah, it's good.
I'll try to get it next stream.
Well, it'll still be raining, so you don't need to.
Yeah.
So I guess as we kind of as Arlington kind of heads for a bush, I'm also going to start looking around for some kind of, I guess, some kind of cover as well, just because, it seems.
Yeah, there was 2 rolls happening Rander, you make a perception roll, and Huck, you did make a sort of Fey roll. You were doing something with the Fey. What did you get? I didn't actually get the result there.
Oh, it was a 3.
Oh, yeah, and the rain
Yeah.
started falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you caused the rain. Right,
Yeah.
Rander.
Yeah, I got an 11, so
Man, we're better.
we're not great. As long as some kind of cover.
You start looking around, and you get to the corner of one of these crossroads, and you hear, "Dibs on the guts, you wretched bitch! Like, I bet you want the horn, you sick fuck!" And you're peering around, you see these 3 sort of crooned over shapes around what appears to be a stag. And one of them goes, "Oh my god, I said I wanted the eyeballs, you absolute fucking hound!" So they haven't seemed to notice you, but there seems to be 3 cloaked shapes around a carcass of a stag.
Did you say coked up shapes?
They are now, yeah.
Yeah. I thought you said that there were stags, and I was like, stags, evil stags eating eyeballs.
Yeah,
One of them goes,
we've crashed a horrendous stag.
Mm.
Oh my god, we have to murder these people already. We've only said like 5 words.
Randy's gonna walk around the corner and just be like, "Can I interest you in some Dying Light ale?"
Yeah, no, Huck could almost just walk up and say hello.
Oh my god. They turn around and one of them goes, "Evie, someone's talking to you." "Oh my god, Aileen, shut the fuck up." "Evie, what are you talking about?" And they turn around and you see 3 horrific looking hags peering your direction and go, "Oh my god, fresh blood. Delightful." And I think there's no better place to totally end the show.
I'm so glad I used all my powerful spells on Randy.
Yeah.
As you come to the realization that these mightn't be as much customers as they are a coven. So we'll pick up.
The Coven's an organization that I could definitely sell some potions to.
Ah man, I don't think these Huns are gonna buy your fucking beer. I think they want Wicked and vodka.
I think Lucy, out of character, is going to be very surprised by how far along the story has changed from when she stopped.
Yeah, this is very out of character for us. Actually, progress.
Oh my god, something Blue Wicked this way comes. Like, I got there eventually. It was a stumbling. We'll fix it.
I'm very much enjoying this fucking Coven of Young Ones.
Yes, Jesus Christ, Paul, you have literally a Blue Wicked potion, and that's what they smell like. They smell like fucking Sally Hansen and fucking Vanilla Mist and Blue Wicked.
They
but
smell
they're
like
horrendous
sugar and regret.
Yes. Yeah. We will end the show there because no better place to end it than potentially on the cusp of initiative.
Bye, Paul. Enjoy your new character.
Randir Golram 2, the son of Randir.
Yeah,
I am Rindar.
Call this the planning episode because let me just check the planning tally. Yeah, 0 planning was done. Cool. Great. Good to know.
Well, whose fault is that then? You kept suggesting we do other things.
Oh, I see how it is.
I'm pretty sure he said at least 3 times, "Do you have a plan? What is your plan?"
It was to talk to Ghost.
Sure.
It was to talk to
Sure,
Ghost.
but then he suggested other stuff.
Yeah.
You could do this.
And then I put the world in your way.
Yeah.
Right, we will be back in 2 weeks' time. In 2 weeks' time, it will be June. So that's pretty cool. But the reason I bring that up is that because if you're watching in the next 6 days from this going live, it is still Wild Magic May. So Wild Magic May is a collaboration we're doing with What's Up Wilbo. You might know Wilbo. He's from the Wilboverse. And essentially what we're trying to do is just spread some joy and kindness in the TTRPG community and the world in general. Because I don't know about you guys or how the world's going, but we're kind of on the cusp of coming out of this dark time. So check us out on our social channels at Homebrew Quest. You'll find the Wild Magic May table. Here's the dark little secret. You can still do it after May. That's the little trick. You can keep rolling on this table if you want. No one's going to stop you. I'm not going to stop you. But anyway.
Still on November.
I will. Rules are to be followed.
I will hunt you down like the harbinger.
Names mean things.
I will find
nice
you,
all the time.
John. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Until then, thank you for supporting the show. Do look after yourselves. Be sound. Good night, and joy be with you all.
And like and click all the buttons if you haven't already. We miss you. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We stop existing when the stream ends.
We have a Discord. You can chat to us.
Wait, you stop existing?
The shoutouts should always be. Offhand.